80% frames versus 100% frames. We'll talk about the future and what does it mean for the community. Coming right up. What's up, folks? What's going on? Welcome back. Man, it's been a minute since we've been here. I'm excited. Uh, I just don't know what to tell you because we just been going through a lot, man. It's been summertime. I see a bunch of people in here, and oh wow, oh man, all right, cool. Glad to see everybody. Here. What's up, Mr. Hawkeye? We got Darth Dav. What's going on? What's going on, Hawkeye? Good to see you, my friend. Ed Levance, man, I tell you what, I've been lost, couldn't find my way home. Okay, well, we couldn't find our way home either, man. I tell you what, this summer has been crazy. And of course, we got Mr. Mayan Hernandez. What's going on, my dude? Good to see you. Oh man, it's great to be back. We have some things we need to talk about. I mean, there's been a lot going on, and some of you has been keeping your ears to the ground and seeing what's been going on. And give me 1 second. There was one thing I knew I forgot to do. I am out of practice doing this, but we're gonna make it happen. We're gonna get back to building, man. Who's been building? I want to know who's been building over the summer. Yeah, it's been Hawkeye, you are absolutely right. It has been a long summer. But you know, it kind of went by. It felt long, but it kind of went by fast because we're almost at Thanksgiving this month. And give me 1 second here. Let me put this thing on vibrate. That way it's not disturbing us. You know, we're almost at Thanksgiving. Somebody asked me today, what was I doing for Thanksgiving? And I really had no idea because I haven't made any plans as to what's going on. Yeah, Mr. Mind never stopped. I haven't stopped, but I've been kind of stuck. We'll talk about that in a little bit. I know you guys have been hearing us talk about the build that's been trying to come out for damn near 2 years, man. And I keep running into obstacles with this one particular build that hopefully I've made it by. My wife been helping me out with that. But yeah, man, it's good to know that you haven't stopped building. I know Hawkeye, he took some time off for the summer to do things around the house. You know, he had his farm and everything and wanted to do family stuff. So if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Hawkeye is back in the lab doing his thing, as am I. And what's crazy is it's gonna start popping, and it's like gonna be one after the other because I have at least 4 builds in the last stages. You know, they either just need stippling or they just need paint or they just need something. All right, waiting on parts. But anyway, let's get back to the beginning. If you're new here and you're watching, or if you're watching the replay, thank you for joining us. I know you could be doing other things with your time. If you're here live, I know there's many different things you could be doing at 10 o'clock Eastern on a Tuesday night, but you're here with us live and we appreciate it. If you're watching on replay, thanks again for watching, because some people either sleep or have life going on. So we get it and we understand it. The fact that you're watching the replay, we really appreciate it. If you have any questions while we're going, if you're live, go ahead and put the question in the chat. We'll be happy to answer your questions because we're going to be talking about some interesting things tonight. It's quite interesting what's going on with the community. But If you're watching on replay, please feel free, drop your question down in the comments, or if you have a statement or something you want to share with us, please drop it in the comments. Myself and Mr. Weapon XYZ are always watching for comments coming up, and we answer them pretty expeditiously, and usually within the same day, same couple of hours. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get to work. So yeah, Ed Levant's honeydew been killing you. Yeah. I've had the honeydew, I've had the business dew, I've had all kinds of things. I mean, business kind of ramped up. I don't know if some of you may know that over the summer, I started working with a gun shop, local gun shop, to teach the concealed handgun permit class. And I went from having maybe average 6 to 10 students a month to average 34 students a week. And then that, along with adding the other classes and courses that I offer, it's been a crazy summer. I think I looked at last month, I taught 82 students. This month I'm already at 42, and we're only 2 weeks into it. And I have like 4 or 5 more classes to teach this month. So it's been crazy. It's been a really crazy summer. The blessings for sure. So I haven't had a whole lot of time to do building, but I've been working on this one project. I kind of been focused on it. Hawkeye has been helping with it, and Nas Veritas and Weapon XYZ have been helping me with it. It's been one obstacle after another. But with that being said, we're here to talk about the 80% versus 20%. I mean, 80% versus 20%. Yeah, they would love for us to have 20%. But 100% frames. There's some not vast differences. And somebody might be able to help me. Did Polymer 80, and I meant to look this up, did Polymer 80 re-release their 75% frame? I think Weapon X was supposed to have that information. He's running a little late. He'll be here. Yeah. Oh, damn. Yeah. That's kind of how I feel sometimes at the end of the day, Mr. Mayan. It's definitely been a whirlwind. But again, a blessing for sure. While I'm not an employee, I'm still a business owner, but it's been busy. I think everybody knows business owners usually run more hours than employees, but I love my freedom. I love being able to wake up at the crack of noon if I want to. So, but anyway, back to the, can anybody tell me if P80 re-released their 75%? Because the ATF is on hard in the Supreme Court reversing stays of execution, as I call them. But, they don't want us to be able to build at all, and they're making it as hard as possible for us to do. So a few weeks ago, or right about a month ago, they took away the injunction. Okay, they canceled the injunction on the 80% frames. So now we're back to either having to do 100% frames, or if P80 re-released their 75% frame, back to doing that. Which is unfortunate. Not so unfortunate that we won't be able to build. We just have to do it differently. So why don't you guys let me know in the chat or in the comments which you prefer? I mean, because you have a difference. Yeah, Mr. Mine, you're asking the same question. I like I said, Weapon XYZ probably has the answer for us. He'll be here in a few minutes. He's taking care of some much needed business before he comes in. But which do you prefer? I mean, I don't know who else has built with 100% frames, but I had the pleasure of building, well, use the term building loosely, because you can buy 100% upper and 100% lower and just put them together. So it's not really building per se. But if you could, would you prefer to be able to buy at a much reduced rate, 100% lower, and piece together your slide? or buy a complete slide and a complete lower, put them together, and then do all your customizing, because it makes for a great platform to customize. Now, I myself have one dagger complete upper, one dagger, and two dagger complete lowers. I have the compact and I have the full size. So basically, I have a 19X uh, or a complete 19. And I found that while I believe is reliable, I haven't shot a whole lot of rounds through it as of yet, but I haven't had any malfunctions either. There's some goods and bads to it, all the way from the magwell to the pins. So it really just comes down to what you prefer. So let me ask this question. Does it really make a difference? And we kind of had this discussion a little while back, but does it really make a difference if it's 100% serialized lower? Of course, provided that you can purchase a serialized lower, which you have to do through a federal firearms licensee. So it's the same as if you were going to buy a complete firearm, but it's drastically less expensive. So right now, just talking about the dagger, all right, the dagger. So you have the dagger, you have Lone Wolf, you have the 75% lower by Polymer 80, and you also have the Combat, is it Combat Armory? Combat Armory, I think it's Combat Armory. They have the lowers, and they all range in price from, say, $49 up to $100. All right. So give me a second. Let me I just want to make sure of which. I think it's Combat Armory. Yeah, so it's Combat Armory. They have their complete lower for right now for $39.99. Okay. Actually, I'm sorry, it's not complete. It is a just the frame itself, and it has no, it's looks like it needs pins. So it's not a complete lower. It is a stripped lower, but it does have the locking block already in it. All right. So it does have the locking block. Still need to get pins. Does have a rail underneath. So it does, have most of what you need to get the build done. So it has the front and the rear rails. You just need the pins. Looks like you need the mag release and the slide lock. So it comes, pretty much ready. I don't know if anybody has used those yet. For $39.99, I think I might buy one, but I'm not going to buy one until I wanted to try and get one for the show, but I wasn't able to get one. But let me check these. Let's see. Mr. Mine says 80% because I don't want government interference. Absolutely. That is absolutely a valid point. If you can get 80% and or you have 80%, absolutely. Now that argument goes to a lot of people. The question is, can it be customized? Yeah. The dagger can be customized. The only downside I've seen to the dagger, is the fact that, let's see, what is it? I like the anonymity, 80%. Okay, cool. And there's nothing wrong with that. But what if we don't have that option going forward? What if for some reason they figure out how to make it stick that you have to have a not a complete, but a serialized lower? Would you still build? That's a question. Would you still build even though you have to serialize, get a serialized lower? I personally would, just because this was a hobby of mine, and I didn't get into it so concerned about the government. Yes. Should they have their fingers in my business? No, they should not. Should I have the ability to anonymously build my firearm? Absolutely. I believe in that. I believe it is overreach for them to be able to say anything about what I do in my household. As long as I'm not causing trouble, I'm not a criminal, I'm an upstanding citizen, I should have that anonymity. But what for? answer me the question. If you didn't have a choice, would you still choose to build? Some people say yes, some people say no. I probably would still build because it's therapy for me. Um, as an instructor, I don't have a whole lot of anonymity anyway, because everything I sign my name to kind of gets in somebody's grubby little paws. But that's my choice too. But most of us here, um, let's see, we'll say, Hawkeye, when I run out of 80%, yes, I will go to 100%. I have time before then. Okay, cool. Exactly. And that's good to know. Honestly, where I live, I can't get anything new. It has to be approved by the stupid roster, and that's a whole nother can of worms, which is very, very stupid. So I do feel for you, brother. Um, a stripped lower or frame still allows customization. Absolutely. And it does. The only thing, like I was about to say, alternatives to 80% coming. Yeah, probably more than likely. Hernandez says yes. Um, the only thing that I found, and I don't have the picture here, with the daggers, the pins are, what do you call it? Hawkeye, help me out. What's the technical name for the pins that are in the dagger? Um, roll pins. They're roll pins. They're not regular pins like you see in the Glock. So for some strange reason, they made those holes maybe, I mean, not even a hundredth of a millimeter larger than the regular Glock pins. So when you try to customize the pins themselves, or you try to put in aftermarket pins, even the Glock pins won't fit. I have some of those. I tried those. They're too freaking big. I mean, the holes are too big. So you, I haven't worked with it enough because I've had this other project I've been working on. I haven't worked with it enough to try and figure out a workaround. Um, and from the word I got when I went to Palmetto State Armory in South Carolina, North Carolina in Charlotte, someone said that they may be either figuring out a workaround or creating their own pins, their own custom pins to use with the daggers. That would be interesting to see what they come up with. And that might be why they chose to go the route they did, or there might have been a patent issue of why they couldn't go with the holes the same size. That may be too, because Polymer 80 is kind of dominating, but you do have other companies out there. But suppose they had to figure out a way around the patent. Maybe it was just that little difference in size in the pinholes. So that quite possibly could be it. Yeah, they're too big. Can you find a round stock to size and make your own? Possibly. I'm see. Then I would have to send you the because I'm no good with calipers. I don't have great calipers, and I know Hawkeye, you have some wonderful equipment. I'll probably strip the roll pins out, send them to you so you can tell me what size they are, and maybe we could find some round stock and make our own pins and go that route. So that might be an option once we start working on the daggers. Difference. I think there's a difference in the sights sizes too. That could possibly be true. I know I can't stand the sights on the dagger. They're horrible as far as I'm concerned. I mean, that front sight is so skinny you can barely see it, and there's so much. I mean, if you have a dagger, look at the dagger sights on the slides. They're horrible. They're horrible. That's the first thing that's getting changed when I start customizing that slide. Yeah, thanks, Hawkeye. Yeah, matter of fact, I might strip them out of one of the frames next week and send it out to you. But yeah, those make them more, calibers. Yeah. the sights on the slide, that's the first thing going. As soon as I start doing customization, I have to take them out anyway to do the paint job that I want to do. So I'll probably swap them out for some tritium sights, or maybe even I might just go with my old faithful, the Strike Industries blacked out sights. I have them on all of my builds because I like them. Even my SIG build, I have that on there. So I might go with that, and I'll let you know if it's difference in size. If difference in size, then we got another thing we have to work around. So, um, but let's talk about the well, we all know that you can get aftermarket slides just about anywhere. What other you got Nomad Defense. I wanted to try and keep it kind of around the affordable because we could talk about Nomad Defense. We could talk about Wilson Combat. We could talk about Facts and Firearms. Those guys charge an arm and a leg for their 100% frames. I haven't found a reason to go to that particular market yet. And our next show, we're going to talk about Glock versus SIG, Glock frames versus SIG grip modules, and you talk about the Icarus and the Wilson Combats and all of them, and the AXGs and all the expensive ones you could go with. And we, if you're doing customization and you're going to go that route, then we'll talk more about that. But we got Mr. XYZ coming in. You ready to come on in, Mr. Sir? All right, what's going on? Where are you? Oh, there you are.
What up, people?
Put your camera down, man? All we can see is your little beady head.
There we go.
What's been going on, man? Where you been?
Tired, exhausted.
How's wife?
That's where I've been.
Doing okay?
She's doing better.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, I'm glad you're able to make it in. I hope she's resting peacefully in there. Not too peacefully, but resting anyway. But yeah, so we've been talking about the differences, and we asked the question: if you couldn't get your 80%, if they for some reason outlawed it for some strange, idiotic reason, and it got through, would you still build? Would you build with 100% frames, or would you just stop building at all? How would you answer that question?
I'd start building with 100% frames. If they absolutely completely outlawed them, and I wasn't able to get my hands on them, yeah, I'd start building with the 100%. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that was the general consensus. If we didn't have any other choice, but if we do still have the choice, obviously, I think all of us would go 80%. Like I said, I got the dagger because it was just I couldn't pass up the deal, and I wanted to try it out. I wanted to see, what the differences were. I'm glad I did, but it is a very decent frame. But what about the SCTs? Who's got an SCT? Okay, that's what I want to talk. The SCT and the SCT is 100%, and the GST9 is 80%. I know some of us here has the GST9. I have one. I have not even thought about building that out yet. It was given to me, and it's sitting in a closet because I have too many projects ahead of it. But who has a SCT9? I know Hawkeye has the GST9. Hawkeye, what is your experience with the GST9 as far as 80% versus the SCT, which I don't know if anybody in the chat has a SCT or not. I wasn't able to get one of those before the show either, but hopefully by the show when we talk about the Glock versus SIG, I'll have one of those and the combat. What's going on, Mr. Playboy? What's going on, Monty? Good to see you, sir. Yeah, okay. So you do what's your experience with the SCTs? So you put you on the back burner for now. Yeah, okay. Monty, what's your experience with the SCTs? How do they stack up the 100% SCTs versus the I don't know if you have a dagger or not, but the polymer versus polymer 80%. All right, so it says love it, feels great. Now, here's a good question. Monty, do you have also the the Strike 80 frame. That's a good comparison for the SCT. The SCT versus the Strike 80. They're similar. I do believe they have the same grip angle. But again, I don't have the SCT to be able to. I have plenty of strike frames. I have 3 strike frames that I haven't even built yet. The slides for the other 2 that I'm building are going to be a little expensive. I don't have the money right now. So you say you like the SCT better than the P80s, but how about the SCT matched up against the Strike 80, which is vastly different than the P80?
Right. And both of them are very similar with, you know, a few exceptions, like the sides of the grip are a little bit different.
Okay, so you don't have the Strike 80. From what I see, it's really close. Yeah, it's really, really close. I in my opinion, I think they probably knocked off the Strike 80 because that was out way before the SCT came out. But I don't have an SCT to compare it to just yet. And just so you know, I carry a Strike 80 every day. That's my everyday carry. So, you know, if you've seen Copperhead, that's my everyday carry. I might have for the winter here, I think I might carry spare change, my SIG build. But for now, I mean, I love it. Everyone that I let shoot it loves it. But I do want to try the SCT. So Black Friday is coming up, guys. So if you plan on doing any building or spending any money, yeah, I know, Monty. I know it's $50. I know. But if I buy another frame and my wife finds out before Black Friday, I'm in trouble. So come Black Friday, it is on the list for me to buy a SCT frame. Absolutely. Yeah, so I'm probably going to get an SCT and a couple of dagger slides just so I can try some different stuff. And a combat armory. So combat armory, SCT, ow. Bit my tongue, guys. Ouch. SCT and that. So if you had your choice, Mr. Weapon, what would you buy next?
Ooh. Besides a Sharp Brothers AR lower, probably a dagger, man, if I'm being quite honest. I've been eyeballing one of those micro daggers.
Mm-hmm. I can't mess with the micros, man. They're just too small for my hands. I can't, you know, all of the micro frames that are out there and different things.
Big guy with a little gun.
The 26s, and I just can't bring myself to build it if I'm not going to use it. And I can't use my hand, these big mitts, man. I can't use it. So that's why I won't build the 365 either, even though they come in the macro or whatever they want, the large one. I can't do it.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate the
well
wishes, man.
Yeah, I've been on my knees a lot for the young lady. I've been through what she's going through, but she has a little bit worse case than I do. So I'm not trying to compare. I'm just saying, having done back surgery, I definitely know what he's going through because my wife went through back surgery. And guys, if you're a praying person, definitely pray for her because it's going to be a long. It's going to be a long road to recovery. But she can make it through with his strength. And with our prayers,
everything's temporary, man.
Yeah, only temporary. So that's why when you see him, he's tired. He's working a full-time job and taking care of his wife, and he found time to get on the show with us. So we definitely appreciate it. It's like I said at the beginning of the show, man. It's been a crazy summer for all of us. He's been working like mad on his job. He won't say it, but. I mean, we used to chat several times a day, every day. I'm lucky if I hear from him once a week now.
Yeah, it's been busy, man.
Yeah, so hopefully it'll slow down a little bit for us after the holidays, because once
Working
Thanksgiving
from
gets
home,
here.
that working from home thing was slick. I could talk whenever the fuck I wanted to.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for
Now it's
sure.
like now I got to pull out my phone, like throw that shit down.
Yeah. So here comes Mr. Hawkeye. He wants to join the party. Um, yeah, you got big hands and carry a 43 Bill Daily, man. Good on you, man. I can't do it. I can't do I've
With your
shot the
pinky up?
43. Yeah.
You hold it like a teacup. Please tell me you do. Tell me you hold it like a teacup.
Yeah, no doubt. What's going on, Hawkeye?
What's
Hey
up,
guys,
how you doing,
What's
man?
going on, man?
getting ready
Good
to
to see
get
you.
back into another season of building.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure, man. I'm excited
Yeah,
because guys, I wanted to wait until I had at least one of you guys, but I'm glad both of you are on here, so you can attest to the challenges I've been having with this one build I'm working on. It's been a freaking, I'm trying different things. You know how we try to innovate. We don't want to. Me personally, I don't want to keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. So I tried different
keep
things.
up in your game every time.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. And it seems almost everything I've tried with this build has taken me backwards a couple of steps. But I think I got a solution to the latest thing. But it's definitely different, and it's definitely something Hawkeye and I and Weapon have been talking about, doing different things. And I don't mind, I'm trying not to destroy any frames, but
It happens.
it
I've
happens.
destroyed a few.
It
At least three. I've destroyed when I first started building.
Yeah.
That's
So,
why I started with the little 43s
uh-huh.
because it was smaller, and I seemed to learn more on the smaller ones. So I didn't really mess up the ones I like to shoot. So.
Well, I got a 17 sitting in there on the bench that I had to cross my fingers as I cut into it, and that came out right. But now I gotta, guys, don't try to put finger grooves on a 17 a P80 940
Not in
C
the front.
or yeah,
Not in the front where that spring goes that holds the clip.
Don't do it to yourself. It causes headaches. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
I almost pushed through it, so I'm trying to rectify that and not ruin the rest of the frame. So I think me and my wife might have come up with a solution.
That's the only thing that I don't like with 80%. Now I've only built 80% in a Lone Wolf, so that's the Lone Wolf had a lot of plastic on it. You could go around it, you can do a lot of stuff, but those 80% Palmers. They're thin. You really got to watch what you're doing when you're removing stippling or you're getting ready to do some stippling. You don't have a lot of plastic to work with.
Well, let's just say right now, I put finger grooves in the Glock in the 940 V2. If I was to paint it right now and not stipple it, it'd be fine. But the minute I try to stipple it, I'm going to push through the inside of the magwell and ruin that where the spring is. Yeah. So I've come up with a solution. I think we'll fix it and still be able to stipple it.
Well, the problem.
And then once it's painted, you never notice it.
You can fix that any way you want to. You can put plastic there. You can put epoxy there and paint it. But the problem is going to be working that inside groove back out so the spring doesn't stick. That has to be smooth down in there.
Well,
so
it's still smooth. I didn't go too far. I went far enough where you could see where the spring is on the other side. It's like darker. Yeah. So it was getting really thin.
That's fine right now, but wait till you start doing something to it. It's going to make it bigger. And you're going to have to smooth it out.
That's exactly why I'm not. I figured out a way. I think I figured out a way. We're testing a couple of things on some of those A2 grips that we bought. So I should be able to, and I'll tell you guys this. It should be able to put a coat of resin over it and then stipple the resin.
Ooh.
And then once it's painted, you never know it was resin there.
That'd be cool. I've never seen resin that would stipple though.
Well, that's what I've got three different types. I've got 3 different types of resin on one A2 frame. So I'm going to try and stipple each one and see which one comes out best.
Yeah, I'd like to see how that works, so I know to do it.
Yeah, so that might be a fix for the issue. And then, I've even tried the option of maybe using grip tape in the finger groove spots.
Yeah.
Okay, but I can't find any grip tape thin enough to where it doesn't look crazy. So it's all of the grip tape that I found is like really, really thick. I mean, it's too thick to go there where it will work seamlessly with the rest of the stippling around it, because I could put grip tape in the finger groove.
Have you looked at goon tape
and
or
then
something
stipple
too?
Around it? That's even
goon
thick
tape's
as well.
pretty thin, really.
I mean, here's the way from my experience, if you want to fix a hole in that spot right there, I would go ahead and use JB Weld, and because you're going to
but you can't stipple JB Weld.
No, but you can shape it. So depending on the type of stipple you use, you can shape it. But I don't think you're going to find an epoxy you can stipple. I think the best thing to do if you want to stipple it is to put the color plastic and melt it in.
Now
I can tell you how to fix that spring part. All you got to do is get a set of jeweler's files, and you can take a jeweler file and you can go down there, and whatever bleeds through or whatever hump occurs there that interferes with that spring, you should be able to smooth all that out once you get that hole fixed, however you epoxy it or put plastic in it or whatever.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but you could technically stipple the JB Weld, but you just wouldn't be able to use any heat.
Oh, you don't want to try that.
No.
So I did that.
What if
it turns black?
No. I'm not talking about using any heat. If you waited until the JB Weld was not dry but still malleable, you could use the tip
without heat and just stipple it before
it dries.
It would take about 2.5, maybe 3 hours before that JB Weld would be that consistency that you could actually shape it.
Yeah,
you'd have to keep watching it.
Then you could probably hit it with a blow dryer on cold.
I've used a hot air gun on low,
just to solidify it up a little bit more after you've pressed into it, so it doesn't.
Because what you're doing is you're evaporating the water out of the JB Weld. Right. That makes it set quicker.
So that would
once it's set but not hardened, you could use the.
Yeah, it's like a putty.
Use whatever stippling tip you want on the stipple thing, the iron, but just don't turn it on.
That's the same method I do when I do a grip, and I'm going to put a logo or a picture or stencil on there, and I want to build that area up. I'll put
you could
on there,
essentially do that with the acrylic too.
Like that, just take your finger and start patting it, and you can get it to shape any size you want. And once it gets to that consistency, you're right, weapons. You can just take your stipple and just whatever pattern you're going to use. Yeah, that's a good idea. I got to remember that.
Thank you, Mayan. I appreciate that. This fucking brain's always moving, dude. I can't shut it off, man.
Yeah, so that's what's going on with the build that I'm working on.
Yeah, but Ram, that might work with the acrylic resin you use too.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably turn on the heater before I go to bed tonight and hit it with it and see what it does.
Yeah, it was 80 degrees here today, and it's hot. So I've been staying out of the shop for a while.
225 here today, maybe 35. So somewhere around there.
Yeah, you can keep that, buddy.
Somebody's got to be here.
But it sounds like we're not going to be filming a video until March.
Yeah. I'm getting back. I got to finish up
here when
the
it's negative
22.
-25.
No, sir. No, thank you. What'd you
I
say,
gotta
Notice I'm
Hawkeye?
growing the beard back out again because I got to. I got to keep that face warm.
Yeah, you got
It's
to
about
have
to
a
get
beard in the
cold.
wintertime.
Oh fuck, especially here, dude.
Would you say, Hawkeye?
I got to finish up that 22 I started last winter. All I got to do is repaint the barrel because the paint chipped on me or flaked off. Something happened and it didn't cure right. But once I get that and get it back together, I'll be ready to start my new builds. 17 long to start with, and if I got time, a CL with a 17 barrel on it.
Somebody just said something about a CL. Who's got a CL?
Yeah.
Somebody just said something about a CL.
Yeah, they came out and I got 2 of them, and I'd really like to build one. I never built one before.
I haven't built the CL. Oh, there we go. That was you said you got 17 long and CL. I've got the CL, and I decided to do a 17 long on the CL. Not sure I want to do that.
No, I started out with that idea, but I backed off. You were right. It looks just way out of. It looks cartoonish.
Yeah, looks crazy.
So I'm going to put the 17 long on a 17 frame.
Right, and that balances it out a little bit.
Yeah, and I'm actually going to make that a target pistol. With just anyway, that's my goal. But this year, at the end of last year, I was fooling around with pearled inlay, and this 22 I just worked on. I'll get pictures when I get it finished. I used pearled inlay instead of doing an HD border. I did
Can't wait to see what that looks like,
and it turned out pretty good. So with this 17 long, if everybody's interested, I'll post up and do a week by week progress on it.
I'm always interested in your write-ups, dude, especially the progress ones.
Yeah,
it really kind of makes
showing my stuff off. But this year, I want to put a wood grip on it, and so once I'm going over to my buddies probably next week, get some wood, and start planning out how to put a wood grip on a plastic frame. That's my goal for this year.
Do you own like a planer at all?
We got a full shop next door.
You do?
Well, see, that's what I was working on trying to do an inlay and the CNC machine. I still haven't found a CNC machine that will cut so precisely to be able to do it. I
don't think you're gonna find one of those cheap ones that'll do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I got up to say I think it was like $900. I'm like, I don't have $1,000 to put toward a machine that's going to cut the way I did, which is why you saw me do what I did with this 17 frame. Pretty much did it by hand.
Yeah. Well, that's my idea. I do a lot of hand work, so I'm on the cheap side. So on this wood grip, I'm going to put that pearl inlay, but I'll probably lay me a stencil out on it and cut it out by hand. Yeah, and then shape it up with files. I think that would be the way out.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I used between the files and the stippling iron to cut it out, and razor, of course. But it was time intense. It was time intense because you got one wrong slip and you go.
That's what makes a true custom pistol worth a lot of money is the man hours that goes into it. Yeah. I mean, if you can just throw one on a CNC machine and whip it out, it's never going to bring the kind of money that one would be if somebody actually sat down and took the time and cut all that out by hand.
Yeah,
that's just the way I see it anyway. I just like the old school. I would love to learn how to do the jeweling. I'm sure you guys have seen these videos of the guys that do the hand carving.
Yeah,
they put them on a wheel and they turn them, and it is unbelievable what the talent these guys have. They missed the weapon.
Real quick, off subject. Did you see who posted it? Playboy posted it. That Empire has re-released the Stiletto MK3.
I have not. I'll have to check that out, though.
Yes, it's back, man. You better get it while you can.
Mm.
No telling whether they're gonna keep them long term or not, but they re-released them, and he'll tell you that I haven't used mine much. I tested it out. It's a nice little trigger, man. It's a nice little trigger. I think I'm gonna go with Empire for the Wolverine build. I think I'm gonna go with them for the Katana Magwell, as well as their slide is pretty sexy too. So it's either them or
were you using that?
Killer
Were you using that
Innovation
other Empire one that you had on your Punisher build?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The black and silver
Black
one.
and stainless one. Yep.
Yeah. That's going on the Punisher, which I do need to get back to, and I wanted to finish that, but I'm not doing that until I finish the one that we're working on together. So, because it's ready to be put back together. I just got to put some paint on it, and I'm fighting not going in there and putting the paint on it and releasing that one because I don't want to get distracted. But yeah, real easy to get distracted out in my shop. But yeah, I do want to get another one of the stilettos though. And I got the stiletto for the 320 also for the Wolverine build.
Yep.
So, it's gonna be interesting. So let me ask you a question. While you're on your computer, go over to Empire, look up their, what is the name of their slide that they have? Let me know which one you would do. And I know you're partial to the other company, but Killer Innovation slide, or let's see, Empire PBF, the Snake Den. Nope.
I love me the Killer Innovation slide. You know that already.
Yes, I know you do. But I'm looking at this other slide. I'm like, might have to make something happen with that. The Point Man slide. The Point Man. Matter of fact, I might just share my screen so we can take it. I mean, it kind of, sort of, almost looks like the Killer Innovation slide. Let me share my screen real quick.
Why am I not seeing it?
That's not what I'm looking for. It's been so long since we've been on here, man. I even forgot how to share my screen.
The Empire BF, right? There it is.
Not something I can do.
All right, so let me go ahead and share this at the stage.
It's a SIG one. Okay.
Yeah. They don't have a slide for Glock, I don't believe. But
they do, just nothing fancy, just like some regular Glock slides. Oh, they're selling that AXG lower. That thing's sexy.
I don't know. Can you guys see that when I do that? Give me a second. Let me.
Now I see the Point Man. Okay. Oh, that looks dope.
Why do we all of a sudden have music?
Not me. I didn't touch nothing.
Not I.
Let me get rid of that. Okay, cool. Yeah, so it's either that slide or the Killer Innovations.
Well, I can say I've never seen that one before, so I would say that one. That's pretty sexy look, dude.
Yeah.
I'm looking at some other pictures now. Yeah, there's that one where they've got it sitting on the back of a car.
I don't have that one on my screen, actually.
I can share here real quick.
Yeah, go ahead and share. So I'm thinking about getting that slide if I can get it in compact. I tried to get on the waiting list for compact when when you choose your options, 3.9 compact with the RMR, leave it raw.
There you go.
I put in to do that, and I said it says the selected combination is not available. So I'm like, son of a gun.
It's just a filler next to you. Yeah, that thing looks dope, man.
So yeah, it looks pretty close to the
It's just I mean, not an exact copy, but it's definitely unique.
And it has
slide cuts.
Has the 3 cuts on the back what we were talking about.
Yeah. Very unique looking cuts.
About going with that. It's probably around. It's probably a little less than the Killer Innovations slide, but I want to get that one. If I can get it in compact, I'll probably go with that, and then just make it a Sig Empire build. Since I already have the trigger shoe, and I like that magwell, so I'll probably end up just going with that, and then putting the special paint job on it we already talked about. So their magwell is the same price, $75, same price as the magwell I was getting for it anyway.
Right.
Plus, you got Black Friday coming up, guys. Be prepared.
No, guys, that AXG lower is just
it's sexy. It's just expensive as shit. It's sexy beautiful. For sure. It's definitely a sexy frame. Or grip module. I'm sorry, it's not a frame. It's a grip module.
I like that stricken from the record.
Yeah,
it's a grip module.
But yeah, see, I keep getting the selected product combination is currently unavailable. Even when I go on the waiting list to get it, it gives me that error. So I'm like, maybe they don't sell it in a compact. Maybe it's only the full size. So, which would kind of mess things up for me because I want to get the compact so I can use the comp that I want to get with it. So, but anywho, we kind of got off the subject. But I mean, how many times could we say we would? I mean, the pros and cons. What are the pros of 100%? You can still build and not have to worry about nobody coming to knock on your door.
You were talking about the serial numbers. Here's why I like the 80%. Mm-hmm. I can put my own serial numbers on them. So I have custom builds with my serial number on them. So when I'm dead and gone long after, if anybody knows the history of Hawkeye, they know there's a Hawkeye serial number on that gun, and that gun came from me.
Yeah,
that's why I like putting my own stamp on them instead of this is a factory frame so and so that somebody did something to.
Right.
That's just my opinion of it. But if I couldn't do that, I would go 100%. Because I like doing the custom stuff to them.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
And you were just talking about that frame that was an awesome frame and all that. And like I said, it costs big bucks. If I was to spend more than like a Palmer 80 cost, and then I start hacking it up like I hack I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. That's why you go in at this low end and you build them to be a top end.
Well, see, now with that ASG, that gives you the opportunity to do your inlays because those grip those panels come off on the side.
Interchangeable.
Interchangeable.
Yeah. You could just stipple those, and if you fuck it up, you buy another thing of grip panels.
Right, but you can also cut you some wood and make you a wood panel because you got a template now.
Let's see what happens this year because I think I can do this. I've been planning it for a year now how to actually do it. We'll see how it works. But if this works,
I can answer your question.
Panel and shape it to however you want for if you can get it that thin. That's the problem I think I might run into is
Ed. It's not very hard to to serialize your own frames.
Etching.
Me and Hawkeye both have a write-up on the forum for etching. And I can say that in one day I did, was it 12 RAM? 12?
Either 10 or 12. 10 or 12.
And in one afternoon I did 12 frames serialized.
Yeah.
I did 10 for, sorry, it was 11. 10 for RAM and 1 for myself. Actually, 2 for myself. So yeah, it was 12.
And once you get that down pat, you can do custom stuff.
You can
on
crank them out. Yep.
Yeah.
I just send them to one of those guys. That's one thing. It's not in my wheelhouse that I cannot shove in this brain. It's good to have people around you that know how to do it. But now here's the problem with that. Back to the original question. If we have 100% frames, that goes away. That's what sucks, because all of mine that I sent to Weapon, they all have the serialized JMD on it. But anyway, we can't deface it. We can't even scrape it off and put our own on there, because now you're defacing, and that's a federal crime to do.
Yep.
But
so you have to have the serial number they give you.
Yep. Hey guys,
other downside is that
I wonder if this would
number...
be considered showing a gun on live.
I fucking hope not.
It's a pen.
It's a pen.
Yeah, it's a pen. It's a pen, people. It's a pen. It's a pen. See, pen.
It's clear. It's clear.
Yeah, it's clear, but it's also a flashlight.
But that makes me feel uncomfortable.
It even has a tripod, bipod on it.
That's awesome.
Good old Temu.
Well, that's the other thing too, is with your own serialized frames, that's not recognized federally, of course. So you'd probably still get some shit for just having that on your firearm if you were in that type of situation and didn't know your rights.
That's all right. The serial number is your own personal serial number is only for your record keeping. That's all it is for, and it's not against the law to have it. And depending on the state you live in, it's not against the law to carry it.
Nope.
Depending on the state you live in. Some
live in a free state.
Yeah. Just keep in mind, folks, if you were to serialize them the way that the ATF wants them serialized, you would need to put more information on that sucker than you could probably etch yourself. The only way you would be able to do it would be with a laser machine, and then you would have to laser it to the depth that they want you to laser it to.
And
your name,
and the
address. Your name, your
font.
address, the manufacture date.
It's crazy.
The font, certain depth, some yada yada yada.
Yeah, that's nuts. That's nuts. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna wind down because our next one is going to be about grip modules versus frames, and I hope to have one or two. Well, I do have 2 SIG grip modules, but I'm not going to attempt to buy an Icarus grip module or a Wilson Combat module, but hopefully I'll have some side-by-side comparisons to show on screen. And if I can get an answer from SIG as to why they call theirs grip modules versus frames, and I know it's probably a simple answer as because their grip modules are not the serialized part of the gun. So that's probably the simple answer, but I'm going to try and see if I can probe and
so
get
an additional declassification. They call it a grip module instead of a frame.
Exactly.
I'm
pretty sure that's the answer. Okay, well, make sure you write that question down so you don't forget, sir.
Yep.
But as usual, man, it's been an excellent time here with all of you guys. It's been way too long. Hopefully, since we're all going to be now not running around, we'll be able to do our regular every other week. If that being the case, today is the 7th. We will see you guys back here on the 21st. All right. So next week, the 14th, we won't be here, but on the 21st, we will be here by hook or by crook at some point talking about SIG grip modules versus Glock frames. So we'll holler at y'all later. All right.
Peace out, y'all. Have a good night.